Yeah.
Welcome to Deep Dive Daily.
Good morning. We are a day away from NBA Draft Day, which is exciting. It does feel like this is like the last little crest of sports for a little while after this comes and goes. This little blip of information. We got the hot dog contest.
I don't know. I was betting on cricket this morning.
Were you? Oh, good for you.
Yeah. It's one of those
the
like
FIFA World Cup, FIFA Club World Cup.
Oh, not really, man. It's just that has trouble drawing my attention. It's different than other club competitions like the FA Cup or I can't think of some of the names. The German one,
You're thinking of like
Coupe. No, but the Copa del Rey, the French, they all have you all have your cups for your country, and it's separate from the league, Ligue 1 and EPL and Bundi and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you have these teams that have played each other for 100 years, and they hate each other's guts. And even though it doesn't matter in the sense of the big trophy, or if you're a great team, the big European trophy, it still matters. And like there's blood feuds, and you'll end up with, Copa Sudamerica and some of those where you have those hey, we can't have fans here today because these teams will murder each other.
Last time.
There was too many knifings last time. That stuff is amazing. But in the World Series of Cups or whatever we're gonna call it, you don't get as much. It's like these teams don't hate each other as much. I think as it progresses, I think I'll get a little more into it. But I haven't really dug into it much.
I was like caught by surprise that this was a thing. Obviously, I don't follow or bet soccer at all. But I was like, it's like, it's a bunch of just exhibitions, and then you're like, wait, no, this is actually like a World Cup-y format. And then you look it up, and you're like, wait, this is the 21st time that they've done this. And then you're like, wait, they did it in 2020. 21, 22, and 23. Like, wait, they do this every year?
Yeah, it's a summer thing. It's like, hey, we're on summer break. Well, that's what takes a start.
This is why I'm so confused. This was why I was so confused by it. Typically, you know how many teams participate, Andy?
68.
7. 7. There are typically 7 teams invited to participate in the Club World Cup. In the FIFA Club World Cup. You know how many teams are participating this year? 32. So this is a massive expansion of whatever this property was. And I'm surprised the players don't have like collective bargaining leverage to say we don't really want to play 20 matches in the summer, guys. Thanks though.
If I'm a big time name, like you owe it to your club to play, but also it's like, hey, it's summer. Well, and anybody who's like possibly in the transfer window, do you want to be playing for like a big contract? Like,
no,
it's
you have the International World Cup next year, which you presumably are going to be trying to peak for because that's all the eyeballs and all of the money coming out of performing well there. I honestly don't know why any of these why any named players would get involved in this, but so be it. Plus, you got to travel to the United States. No guarantees.
I did post that. Do you know how many teams are qualified for? Speaking of coming to the United States to play soccer, do you know how many teams are qualified for the World Cup so far in 2026?
3.
No. It's more than that. There have been teams that have won.
I thought you were asking me a trick question.
You're right.
It's a bigger field this year, right? Aren't they?
It is a big field.
I would say we got 18 to 24 qualified so far. I think
it's like a dozen. It's not quite.
Okay.
We're getting closer. We've had some as recently as March. Finish the AFC Cup playoffs and qualify. But I was looking at that, and I don't know. Maybe this ceasefire holds and things are cool from here on out, but one of the dozen so teams that have qualified to come play here in America is Iran.
Well, they're
Like,
good.
yeah, it's a good team. It's like, God, is that going to be awkward?
Yeah. Yes. Easy answer, yes. I mean, there are all kinds of stories back in the day of teams traveling to European countries in the United States for soccer, and just the wild defections and shit like that that go on, and the security trying to prevent defections and shit. It's crazy. Anyway,
But yeah, we can't show a Russian flag on Flash Score.
world flags only. Absolutely right. All right. Let's talk a little NBA draft. We are again 24 hours away from draft day, I guess. Really? We'll say we're 36 hours away from markets shutting down, probably. Oh wow, you got a Vondi 33-1. That's definitely live. Anyone did, but the women's. You know who could win Wimbledon on the women's side? Ladies, sorry, who could win ladies Wimbledon? Andy?
There's about 9 of them.
That more than that. Krejcikova won last year.
Vondrousova won there more. We're not having that again.
There's about 128 women who could win Wimbledon, and we don't know all their names yet because some of them haven't qualified.
So yeah, some of them are 15-year-olds from Czechoslovakia that have not qualified yet.
Yeah. Anyway, NBA draft betting is kind of fun this year. It's been a slow burn as always. I would say the liquid pools at Bookmaker popped a week ago, and I've been kind of dipping my toe in the water here and there. Although you try to tread lightly because number one, a lot of the info a week out is terrible and or incomplete, right? You only have a couple of pieces of the puzzle. You don't know if it's going to be a horse or an elephant yet. And then some of, you're building a puzzle. You don't know what it's going to be until you get enough pieces in.
You don't have the fucking box. Like, look at the box.
I like to be surprised.
It is funny because my kid did a puzzle the other day without the box, and we helped a little. It's like, well, this is hard. Where's the damn box? It's like, no, it was just it was in the sandwich bag.
Using the box,
using the box is apparently cheating. But no, my question to you is: so one and two locked up. 1 and 2 are locked out. That's that part. We often have that, no matter the sport, where it's like, hey, this is happening. This is happening. Philadelphia throwing out false flags because they want to trade down. Might they just take Bailey anyway? I know we got a million red flags around this kid, but a lot of it is just like, it feels like the same thing we saw with, God, I can't remember who had his agent. He has a bad agent, I think, and it's just making him look dumb. And he's still like a really high-end prospect that might be the right guy to take at 3. And now that number dropped like a rock. Did you see Shapiro was like,
the governor of Pennsylvania.
Governor of Pennsylvania calling in to radio stations, and like they're putting a lot of smoke around his, like, hey, this guy's dropping to like, near 10th, honestly, 8, 9. They say he could drop down to now. Isn't there just a chip chair and a chance Philly's just trying to leverage as many different people who would want to trade up? You say, hey, we don't like this kid. We like this kid. So then you get anybody who wants Ace or VJ to want to trade into that spot, because Philly should want to trade out.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. Where are you standing with the 3 pick right now? Your opinion, not your book, your opinion.
60% they take VJ, 30% they take Con, 10% they trade out. I don't think there's any chance they take Ace. No,
the market still has it like 4-1.
If they trade out, it's somebody trading up for Ace, I would guess. But
that's what I'm saying. Like, not Philly, the 3rd pick. And is there a chance somebody would trade up for Trey Johnson?
I don't think so. I think Trey Johnson.
I don't understand why he's like 2nd favorite at some places to be 3rd overall.
I think
it should be VJ like -200, Bailey 3 or 4-1, KK.
I think the 3rd and 4th picks are VJ, Con in some order. The market is weighed in pretty convinced that it's going to be VJ. I'm not there, but I don't disagree. Apparently, like the Philadelphia would be best served trading down, but I don't think there's a suitor. I don't think that there's a partner. There's not a second to tango, Andy, as they say. And all of the teams in like 3 to 7 range are in the wrong order for the talent that's available. So there's a little bit of friction. right? It doesn't really make total sense. But the ace situation, as far as I read it, was his team was trying to point him to a specific destination. And the reason they were trying to point him to a destination, Andy, is because they want him to have a relatively high offensive usage. And you know where you're not getting that? On a team with Tyrese Maxey. You know where you're not getting that? On a team with LaMelo Ball.
Overlap.
You know where you're not getting that? Or you know where he doesn't want to be? Utah for some reason. Like, I think they've specifically turned they first started a conversation with Philly, not ever intending to, even though Philly was apparently somewhat cool on Ace before all of this. They started that conversation. They were going to have the workout that got canceled, and then his draft stock was in free fall. He turned down workout opportunities at Charlotte and Utah. All of this stewed together, to me, means it all is telling a very compelling story. His team has a quiet deal to point him to Washington.
I agree, but at the same time, it still feels like there's just so many, like you said, the friction. Friction's a great word for it. There's so much friction in the top 10 between, hey, here's where we're drafting and here's who's going to be available, and none of that jiving for basically anybody past 2.
Yeah.
Where I know trades maybe might not make sense for some of these teams, but they might have to think about taking a trade they like less than they should, or just reaching for a guy. Like, do we take the best player available, even though he has a massive overlap and his usage isn't going to be where it should be for the draft capital we're using? Or do we take the guy who we can use right now, even though he probably is available in 4 picks and nobody wants to trade with us? There might just be a gridlock where nobody trades with anybody because everybody's unhappy with the way they'd have to move to do it.
That's my read. I think I think there could be one trade in the top 10, but I don't think it's in the top 8.
Okay.
So as it stands right now, I'm fine with like 60% chance that it's VJ. I think that Khan is a sleeper for 3 because of what what his profile looks like analytically relative to the team that's making that pick in Philly, and just in general, if there's in general, the fact that VJ's camp has not gotten a commitment from Philadelphia, I don't think that's them praying for a better offer for the trade. I think it might actually be that they're not sure that they're going to take him. But the 4th pick, if Khan is available, is almost certainly Charlotte Khan from everything.
I don't have Bookmaker up. What is Knoopel's 3 price there?
They don't have prices up. So
okay. I checked earlier, but you made it sound like there was something up. All right.
I would say that
what would be a bettable number?
If Knoopel
What's a
goes,
bettable number for him?
If Khan goes 3, then VJ Edgecombe is going to go 4 to Charlotte. Sure. And that is like a 12-1 exacta. I think that's how you play that.
Yeah, it's not letting me do that.
But here's you want to know
what's a bettable price for Knoopel to go 3?
Let me tell you.
You got to tell me a price here.
Let me tell you what I did.
Okay.
I played the shit out of Khan under 5.5.
All right.
Because then who cares where he goes 3-4? And if he doesn't go 3 and 4, then I'm sweating my dick off hoping he goes 5th. Right? Like under 5.5 it was like minus. I'll tell you what I bet. I started at minus 115 and I took it out to minus 158. And I think it should be like minus 300 or minus 400 that he goes in the top 5.
Yeah, I mean, there's a top 5 market for him right now at Bovada. He's minus 350. So good price. You got a good price. Yeah. What is a bettable number for him to go 3rd in your opinion?
I think it's 30%.
Okay.
I'm going to go 60, 30, 10. Philly is 60% VJ, 30% Khan, 10% trades out. And with the trade out, it's probably Ace.
All right. I'm going to bet him at 14-1 then.
Okay. If you find that, that's fun. I'll keep you posted if that ends
Let's
up
see what Bet Online
solidifying.
has.
But like the closer we get to the draft and the more kind of like left at the altar the VJ camp feels like at 3, like I think there's actually potentially some legs there. So we'll see. All right. So 3 and 4 is VJ, Con in some order. Utah at 5. Ace obviously doesn't want to play there, but they may just take him. I think that they have done their due diligence on point guards and bigs. So there's a lot of options for them available at 5. They can go in many directions, Andy. They can go talent.
They
can
kind
go
of have
point guard. They can go big.
needs everywhere, right?
They need everything. They need everything. Yes.
So Fears.
So I put Fears in there, and this is why. You ready?
Go ahead.
It was an early report that the Pelicans were like promising Fears' dad that they were going to come up and get him, or they were going to take him at 7 or maybe trade up to 5 to get him. Right. The Pelicans were strongly tied to Fears. Right. Pelicans are picking 7th. And then all of a sudden they were like, oh, sorry, never mind. Which to me tells me that they didn't change their mind about who they want. They know that Fears is not going to be there, which means they probably have some sort of intelligence that Fears is going to go 5 or 6. And if I've already kind of surmised or I'm assuming that the ace gamesmanship is to point him to Washington at 6, then that just leaves one potential landing spot for Fears 5. And this is all just full on puzzle solving. Nobody's told me this. Nobody has leaked anything from the Utah camp. But I do have some Fears to go 5th at plus 518.
Yeah, and Fears, his over-under is sitting at 6.5 right now, which a little juice to the over, which checks out. It feels like it is either Utah or it's 7.
Yeah, he's either 5 or 7.
And then if Fears isn't there, you probably go Trey to New Orleans, I suppose.
I've heard that they're in the.
I guess Ace Bailey is still. Ace Bailey is still floating around. Maybe he's Washington. Maybe Washington. Maybe Washington.
And again, okay. Let me be perfectly clear. I'm wish casting. I have Ace Bailey to go 6th at plus 650, plus 576, and plus 513. So fingers crossed that that's a windfall type of shot that Ace goes 6th. 7th, I've heard that New Orleans is actually kicking the tires on Malak, and they were considering Queen. So they're looking bigs. If Fears is gone, they're looking at bigs. I'm going to put Malak in at 7th, although I have not bet this. I have 0 staked at what New Orleans is going to do at 7, because they also are one of these teams that they could just wake up tomorrow morning and be like, all right, fine, we'll give up whatever we got to give up to trade up to get a guy. Who knows? Like, I honestly have no idea what New Orleans ultimately decides to do. And so they're a little bit of a wild card. At
So
8,
quick
Trey,
breather on Queen. Quick breather on Queen. So his over-under is 11.5. You can get even money a little better than that. I like that under quite a bit just because of the fit there, but also like isn't that suddenly a Phoenix pick too? Where the Suns at 10, we're like, hey, we can use a big guy. We can use anything right now.
There's been Queen rumors 7, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
And the reason that his over-under
something I did bet this morning.
The reason that his over-under is where it is our friend Dr. Luke nuked it about a week ago.
To the over, or where did it
to the
start?
over?
I guess
to the over. He played over. He played the over there. And so there was a wave of early money that went over Queen, and then a late wave of intel that says there's a lot of interest in Queen in the top 10.
Sure.
So that's what the dynamics are there. I don't have a hard landing spot for him yet.
Yeah, 11 and under 11.5 plus 105 is what I took.
Okay, I don't hate that. The 8th pick, I took some flyers on Trey Johnson. If he's available, I'm imagining that the Nets run to the podium to take him 8th. I don't imagine that Trey Johnson slides any further than 8th. And it is very, very tough for me to envision a world where the top 8 picks aren't the 8 guys we just talked about, besides Queen. If you want to flip-flop Queen and Malak in there as seventh pick. Okay, sure. It's very tough for me to imagine that any of the guys, Flag 1, Harper 2, in stone, in pen, lock it up, move on. VJ, Khan in some order, Fears, Ace, Malak, Trey in some order. That's your top 8, I think, which means there's only 2 more spots in the top 10, which brings me.
None of the teams that are guard needy are looking at the Illinois kid.
No,
and you think he's
a traffic cone on defense.
So maybe somewhere in the like Atlanta
12 range.
Doesn't really need it. Yeah.
12
Spurs,
to 15
maybe.
range. Yeah. So here's where I'm at. I'm at pretty solid 8 in the top 10, right? You know where this is bringing me to my best bet on the board. You ready? This is not even close. Like, this number is just so fucking wrong. I can barely wrap my head around it. There's a player named Noah Esengwe.
Yeah.
He's lined at 9.5. Do you know how many spots there are left for him in the top 9, Andy?
Just the one.
Just the one. And that is the 9th. And the Toronto Raptors were mocked. He was mocked to the Toronto Raptors, which I'm assuming was the genesis of putting this number here, right? The guy who mocked him to the Raptors was Draft Express, Jonathan Givney, who has done plenty of consulting for the Raptors. And so you would think, well, he probably has intelligence. That's why he's putting him there. But you would also think if he has connections to that front office, he would not tip their hand for them.
No.
He would put some sort of smokescreen in there for them, which is what I'm assuming is he is doing, because nobody else in the world is hot on Noah Esengwe. I mean, in fact, I don't know that I've heard more negative buzz on any player than him. And I will ultimately, this is the one draft prop that I have hand up. I have overbet this. I should not have staked what I staked. I was bored. I was a little drunk, and I was like, there's just no way. Like, it just came into focus. You just have moment of clarity, right? I was like, he's not going top 9. And I absolutely nuked this one. So I am heavy over 9.5 for Noah Esengwe. And once we get to the 10th pick of the draft, I'm going to have my feet up, and hopefully everything else is going to be gravy. But I have been carefully trying to find rumors, hear rumors and stuff like that. You know what my favorite one of the morning is, Andy?
What's that?
The number 9 pick is available for anyone who wants to trade up for any particular asset. And that asset is not Noah Esengwe. Okay. The most obvious team likely to package picks and trade up is the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have 1 million picks, and you know what they don't have a lot of, Andy? Roster spots or like slots for playing time and development. I would say that Oklahoma City is a very likely package and trade up team. And is that a Carter Bryant pick? It's a weird one. You ready for this?
I could go with Bryant there.
It's the Cedric Coward team, apparently. Is the little inside buzz there, is that we might see Oklahoma City bundle, trade up to 9, take Cedric Coward 9, which would be a shocker. Certainly any other team that's trying to get ahead of Phoenix to take Queen is a possibility. But Carter Bryant has been a riser. He's probably in like the 10, 11, 12 range at the worst.
He's about 5-1 to go in that 9th pick. Right now, I got Bavada. Malak is first, Esengwe second. Although I have a mock draft from who's the Viceni? Who's the athletic guy?
Yeah. He doesn't have
Esengwe in his mock.
He and I must be getting the same messages, because I looked at his mock and I was literally just like, holy shit. I hope this guy has the best night. And it's just like, everybody's like, whoa. He was clairvoyant. He had them all. He had all this. He had all the tea, because I love his order. I love it.
I'm doing it. I'm doing like a control F. I don't think he has Sengue getting drafted.
Did you search
Spell
Noah
it
NOA?
right?
NOA?
Yeah.
I'm sure he's in there.
No. The only thing that's coming up is Noah Penda getting drafted by the Wolves in the second round. Like, I don't know if he screwed up or if he thinks this kid's pulling out of the draft or what, but he is not in the mock from yesterday. I swear to Jeebus. Johnny Broom to the Spurs. I like that.
Oh man, you are correct. Wow, he's not in there at all. I haven't heard that cold takes on him, but that would be pretty amazing.
I want to find a market on that not to get picked.
Incredible. Wow. So yeah, Derek Queen, Suns sincere interest, I've heard.
Yeah.
Although there's been a lot of rumoring about what the Suns want to do with the 10th pick. Everybody seems to have a source and a scoop and a different name. My guy has Queen, so that's what I'm going with. That is cherry on top though. I have Queen at plus 750, plus 672, plus 605 to go 10th. So
what would be a fair price for you for Knuppel 3 VJ4? A bettable price. Because I think I found something I'm betting right now.
Anything better than about 5 to 1, I would say, is a bet.
Okay. So I have exactas, top 4 exactas at Bovada. Okay. Flag 1, Harper 2, Knuppel 3, VJ4, 30 to 1.
That's a really good
it wasn't letting me parlay the two, but
that's a really. I mean,
essentially, it's the same thing because you have.
I like that one.
You have 1 and 2 locked up. Essentially,
I don't think you're scoring 30 to 1 any other way in this draft.
No, this bet is pending approval. Fact.
Oops.
We'll see.
Oops. We'll see. You might have bet it.
Yeah, there's a possibility. I have
like Spirit Airlines. You might be flying to Pittsburgh today. All right, you ready? So again, kind of recap. Ace Bailey to go 6th is a flyer for me.
Oh shit! I got a golf show in a couple minutes.
Jeremiah Fears to go 5th is a flyer for me. Con Kneppel to go under 5.5 is a strong position for me.
I say
Con Kneppel to go 4th. Is a strong position. Not a strong position, but I'm going to say flyer for Con Kneppel to go 4th. Noah Sengue to go over 9.5 is a very strong position for me. That's my biggest bet of the night. Trey Johnson to go 8th was a flyer. Derek Queen to go 10th was a flyer. And I think I like your VJ. I like your Con VJ 3-4 exacta, which 30 to 1 is amazing. That should realistically be like 10 to 1. And I would bet it down.
Who do you love at 5? Because I kind of want to see if I can bet the same thing with a 5th.
I mean, my dart is Fears.
I might just go Fears. I'll see what I can get on that price.
100 to 1. Something awesome.
Yeah. Man, we'll see if they have it. I might have to request it. All right, I got to run.
Good luck.
Got to go talk Rocket Challenge over in the other channel. See you guys tomorrow. You have a little golf, a little tennis. Country Club Wednesday.